welcome to episode 3 of Beginning Fabrication. By everyone, I guess, I mean the half a dozen or so people that are going to watch this. I hope you enjoy the few little tips that I show you this time round, and again, let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. Alright, thanks. So this little tip is just about marking out pipe to do straight cuts. So I use damp course and a texter. So let's get into that. So the reason I like damp course rather than tape is because it doesn't flex. So when you wrap it around something and line it back up on itself, that's a straight line that way. So if you don't have a drop saw like me, you can do a nice straight mark and then just use your grinder to cut it, and you know that it's going to be nice and flat. Alright, so once you got it on your job, if this isn't in line, it'll be pretty obvious that it's not going to be straight, obviously. So you can see where it overlaps. So you just want to get that so that the two ends are completely on top of each other. No seam. And just grab your texter or pen or whatever it is you use. Even though my mark out was wobbly, the line will actually be straight. And you got yourself a nice straight line. Oh, there it is to cut on. You can also use a chain cutter if you happen to have one. I've got one, but I don't actually like using it for cutting if I don't have to, but it is really good for doing this same thing. You can just use the cutter, run a few passes around, and it'll do the same deal, give you a nice straight line. I'll go and show you what I mean. This is my chain cutter for cutting pipes. It's King Crown brand. I don't know if you can see the part number on there. It does cut pipe well, but I use it mainly for marking pipe and then cutting it with the grinder. If you're under a car and you don't have room to swing a grinder, then this thing's really good. Just make sure you keep the rollers lubed up with, I use WD-40, but any of those kind of fluids will help maintain it. So for marking out a bit of pipe to cut with a grinder, just flip this thing on. All you really want to use it for is to scribe a line, so it doesn't have to be overly tight. Maybe even a bit less. Give it a couple of turns. And then already you can see that that's scribed. Nice straight line you can cut with your grinder. Obviously if you keep going backwards and forwards and tightening this up as you go each time, it will cut the pipe. But again, I sort of save this for when I don't have access with anything else but this. So there you go. Hello. Okay. A lot of the times you'll need to just make a little bracket or do a fold, small fold in a bit of metal. So I'm just going to do it in the vise with a hammer. So I'll start off just by hitting probably more on the edge just to get the fold started, but then as it rolls over I'll hit it closer to where the fold is to flatten it out so that it's a sharper fold. If you want to have more of a radius on it, sometimes you can just slip a piece of flat bar in here and fold it over that so that it rounds it over. So sort of halfway now. I've just been moving along the piece as I go, not hitting excessively hard, just to try and keep it even. So as it comes over a little bit further, I'll start hitting closer to the fold. pretty basic, but it's a relatively decent little fold. And there's all sorts of reasons why you need to make a little piece that's only as wide as a vise, accelerator cable brackets, and just there's tons of reasons why you'd want to do a little fold. And I just find this is a nice quick and easy way of doing a fold that looks okay. If you were going to make some kind of a bracket that needed to have a return on it, you can just put the piece back in the vise. And if it's fairly close to where you've done your other fold, I'll just hit it on the edge of the first fold. So it gets that part of it out of the way. So now I can start hitting closer to the new fold. Sometimes you might wobble up that edge if you do it that way. Most vices have got some kind of an anvil thing built in, so that's a pretty sturdy little bracket if it was just mounting a cable or something simple like that. Even though it's just a scrap piece, it's just to show you that folds can be made pretty neatly and quickly just with a vise and a hammer. So hopefully that's something that you can make use of. Alright, I figured while we still had the vise, another little thing that I've done before, especially with floor pans, is ball peen hammer. Set your vise to whatever width the ribs in the floor are. And same as before, just smack it. Obviously I'd spend a lot longer shaping it normally, but for the sake of this example, that's just to show you that the vise makes a pretty good dolly or anvil, whatever you want to call it. If you use a smaller hammer, you'd probably do a neater job, but I just grabbed the closest hammer. But it can do a pretty decent job if you spend a little bit of time on it. So if you need to just repair a small section of a floor that has any sort of ribs in it, this is how I used to do it before I got a bead roller. There's another little thing that I've done before. I can find a bit of pipe. I wanted a better bit of pipe than this, but it'll do. Again, just because a lot of floors and inner structures have weird shapes in them. So this is probably a bit small, it's going to pucker in a little bit, but just using the end of the pipe. Again, you'll spend longer to get it neat, but anything that's got a hollow in it, pipe, square tube, the vise, the back of the vise, anything really you can use as a forming tool with either a ball peen hammer or a flat hammer, depending on what sort of finish you need or want. So just another little cheap way of making shapes. Cool. Well, you've done it. You've made it through another episode of Beginning Fabrication. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see me cover. Otherwise, I'll just keep putting in these little tips as I think of them and keep posting up these videos. Alright guys, take it easy. Bye.